name's Ashley Courtney. I am a registered midwife in Kelowna, British Columbia. I have been practicing here for the last 5 years. I graduated from UBC's midwifery program, and I have a 2-year-old son, and I am expecting our second son in a couple weeks. I'm 31 weeks pregnant right now. And Hannah has brought me here to talk to you a little bit about optimal fetal positioning. And so I thought I would start with some recommendations that I tell my families in care about when they are pregnant. Sometimes there's ways that we can encourage baby to be in an optimal position for labor ahead of time. And sometimes it takes labor to get them into that position. So I have some positions that we can think about when we talk about optimal fetal positioning. I have a pelvis here, and I have a baby here. And so a lot of the times when babies enter into the pelvis, they like to have their backs over on mom's left side. So when we're palpating a belly in pregnancy, if we notice that the back is on the right side, it's often totally fine. Babies are smart and they'll figure it out in labor, but they tend to rotate this way around and to get to the left side. And when babies have their backs against mom's back, they can't tuck their head in as far. And so you actually get a wider diameter of the head trying to go through the pelvis, and you get more like back labor. Whereas if baby has their head over this way and can come forward easier, they can tuck in, and you have a smaller diameter of the head, and you don't end up with as much back labor during labor. So sometimes in pregnancy, if we notice that the back is on the left side, that's great. If we notice the back is against mom's back or on the right side, sorry, here, like this or like this, we often talk about trying to focus on forward leaning positions. We talk about trying to float in some water, so letting your belly hang down. This is like things that you focus on from third trimester onwards. So when you're talking to someone, if you're sitting on a yoga ball, try and lean forward more than like leaning backwards. If you're leaning backwards, the gravity can often help the spine end up against your back. So if I'm leaning forwards, hopefully it helps that back come forward and I have a smaller diameter of the head. So things you can do in pregnancy. Sometimes there's the forward leaning positions, like hanging out on a yoga ball, doing some cat-cow positions, doing yoga positions, going on walks, being mobile, active. I think they find that now when we have a lot of people that are driving in their cars for work a lot, sitting a lot at their desks, leaning back in lazy boys watching TV, there's more of that gravity bringing babies' backs against mom's backs, and then so more babies ending up in that position called occiput posterior, where their back is against mom's back. Old school midwives would say, scrub the kitchen floor on your hands and knees with a toothbrush to help get baby into a good position. Or if you think about people that were, spending lots of time in a garden, you're squatting and leaning forward and you're not hanging out leaning backwards. I don't think you actually have to clean your kitchen floor with a toothbrush, but just be mindful on which direction you're hanging out in. There's something also called the Miles circuit that you can look up, and it has a series of activities and positions you can do to try and encourage that baby to get their back over to the left side. And then there's also a website called Spinning Babies that is great. It's a little bit overwhelming and confusing, but it has a lot of really good resources on also helping encourage baby to be in a good position when you're pregnant. I always never want people to get too stressed about it either, because sometimes it does take labor to get baby into that good position. They might be hanging out where they are just because of that's where they like to be, or because of something, and they need birth to bring them around. And it's always tricky. Sometimes their back might be over here, but their head could still be looking a different direction. So we might palpate a position on the outside and their head is looking a different direction. So nothing is 100%. The only way to really know is when you actually go into labor. And then when you're in labor land, I always will say, you know that baby's back is against your back if you're getting a lot of back labor. And so things you can focus on are forward leaning positions, hands and knees hanging out on a yoga ball, trying to forward lean in the shower with some hot water on your lower back. Try and do some lunges on a stair. So if you're able to, try and go through 5 surges kind of with one leg up, going one way, and then turn your body the other way and do 5 lunges the other way. Try sometimes with even in labor, you can even do some forward leaning inversions to help the baby's head come up a little bit and then rotate into a better position. A forward leaning inversion is often having your knees on a couch and your forearms on the ground. So your bum is high up in the air to help that baby's head come up and then re-engage in a better position. You can do that in pregnancy too, and then just hold it for 3 breaths and sit up slowly. What else can I think of that would help for positioning? Pretty much listening to your body and trying diversity. So trying movements. So trying, if you're upright, you'll probably feel things more intensely than if you're lying down, because that helps, the gravity helps bring baby's head down into your pelvis and on your cervix. If you don't like something, try something else, but then you can always go back to it, because what works at one point in your labor might not work again for a little bit, and then it might work again. Sometimes people find that hanging off their partners, like in a slow dance position, so kind of like this, can be helpful. Sometimes, like if you're like forward leaning like this and someone can press their hand here, it can be helpful. Sometimes you can even be in a squat, so you could be sitting with your partner's legs around, like they're sitting on a bed, and you can have your arms with their legs between you, and so you're supported, and it's a supported squat. Or even just lying on your bed on your left side with some pillows supporting your knees so they're open. Or if you've heard of a peanut ball, you could have a peanut ball between your knees to help open up your pelvis, but also get rest. And yoga balls are great to either sit on and do figure 8s on, or to have on, if it's on a bed even, you can have them on on the bed and then lean on it that way. Yeah, I feel like those are, can you think of anything else?
No, that sounds great. Did you want to show us how to do a hip circles with your ball you have there? Just how you place your hands on your hips and roll around?
Sure, I can do that. I mean, the biggest thing with any position is there's no right or wrong. You'll feel intuitively what is working for you. So sometimes people find something that works for them. In terms of going in a circle, there's not like a right or a wrong way of doing it. You can just rotate your hips one way. You can try that for a little while. You can try the other way. You can try and do like a figure of 8 one direction and then a figure of 8 the other. The biggest thing is the movement in any direction is helping make a little bit more room, and every little millimeter helps for baby and you to do that dance and get them through your pelvis.
That sounds great. Let's go. I'll just look at my notes, see if we have. So we talked in the presentation about different pain management. I know that you shared a lot of that, so thank you so much. Did you want to share when you see women in birth, because you do this every day, all day, have you found what have you found that women who have back labor find the most helpful for different pain management? Is it shifting positions, or is it using those sterile water injections, or is it what have you seen work well to bring relief?
I think it really depends on the whole picture and where they are in labor. But definitely pressure helps. So even just having an open hand, pushing on their lower back really hard can help. The sterile water injections can help. You can even do just pressure on acupressure points over your sacral dimples, which is where we would put the sterile water injections.
Is that where also
machine,
the TENS machine little stickies go right above the butt crack kind of area?
yeah, I would say the sterile water injections are more like here, and the TENS machine tends to go like up here, but you can put the TENS machine anywhere. And forward leaning inversion or forward leaning positions are more so to help encourage baby into a better position, but I wouldn't say necessarily will help you with the sensations. But the goal of it is to help baby rotate. I think even hot water or hot packs can help.
What did you do for your first baby that you're going to try with number 2?
I think you have to be open to trying everything and whatever works, and even just have a support partner remind you to try different positions. And because I think every birth is so different, it really depends on the position of the baby, how things are felt. I spent a lot of time on my hands and knees leaning on a yoga ball with a hot pack, like an electric blanket. You know those electric blankets that go over your shoulders? It was wrapped around my lower belly, and I had a TENS machine on. I tried doing some lunges, and I did some slow dancing with my partner. I did some side lying. I spent some time on a toilet with a squatty potty just to have kind of a supported kind of squatting position that's good.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love the toilet too. Did you find that gravity was your friend for your labor? Like, were you using gravity, like standing up a lot? Or were you just instinctively listening to how your body wanted to move in the moment?
I feel like I was moving around a lot. I think I spent most of my time though in my hands and knees. Yeah. It's one thing, you have your rational brain on what you want to try, and then when you're in labor, you often just go to what feels right.
And would you recommend that moms try now different positions, like practicing at home before baby comes?
Yeah, you can try seeing how it feels. Just like you can sit on a toilet backwards and put some pillows on the back of the toilet, and then that way you can rest your head. You can try and see how it feels to like lean backwards on your partner's legs and have them support you. You can try and do some slow dancing. I've even heard of having partners behind you and lifting up your baby, and that can feel good just to take the pressure off for you for a little bit. Yeah, you can try and see if you're in terms of other, like, I feel like lunges are always good. Even in pregnancy, you can do some lunges one direction, do some lunges the other direction. Trying to be, I think even just doing your yoga classes are wonderful because people are moving, and it brings us back to that kind of what we're meant to be doing, not just sitting still all the time.
That's perfect, Ashley. Thank you so much. You've been so amazing with enlightening us all and just being open with trying it all. Like, don't thinking you try one thing and it doesn't work. It might be your favorite thing in 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, right? You never know what'll be good. So don't disregard one position, right? You can always come back and try it again.
And don't be scared if your baby is, not with their back on the left side at the end of your pregnancy. I think a lot of babies are smart and will rotate in labor. And it just needs that movement in labor to help them do that. And then if you end up with an epidural too, if you've moved a lot until you got that epidural, that's great. That's definitely helpful. And then sometimes an epidural is something that might help baby rotate if it helps your pelvic floor relax. So I feel like just doing everything that's possible. And then if you feel like you need something stronger, and that is an epidural. If you've tried all your positions, I think that's wonderful.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time and coming on, and wish you all the best with baby number 2.
Thank you. I wish everyone all the best with their journeys too. I hope it goes well.